Hello. I'm going to talk today about a kind of analysis called process analysis. Now, because a process is a series of smaller actions necessary for a larger action, this kind of analysis can be useful to help your reader understand an idea that incorporates time. In this way, a process analysis can work well to explain how an action happens and potentially what that action means. This distinguishes it from a description, which usually describes something that exists in space and is relatively non-complicated. I want to emphasize, as we're considering this, that almost every action is a process, meaning that almost anything you do can be broken down into a series of steps that lead to the completion of that action. For example, to watch or listen to this lecture, you probably had to turn on your computer, open a browser, navigate to Canvas, log in, find this page, and start the viewer. That's 6 things you had to do so that you could complete this action. Watching or listening to this video is therefore a process with 6 steps. The smaller actions of turning on the computer and so forth that you had to complete before you could complete the major action of watching or listening to this video. For another example, consider how I make these videos. First, I write myself a script. This step helps me say what I need to so that I can make the most possible sense. It allows me to not ramble and stick to my subject. Then, I open an app called Screencast-O-Matic. After I do that, I open Microsoft Word. The next step is to activate my microphone. These 3 steps work together to make recording the video possible. Screencast-O-Matic provides software that I can use to record what happens on a screen. Microsoft Word is what I'm actually typing all these words into. I'm making a document that I'm recording a picture of, pretty much. And of course, the microphone is what's allowing me to record my voice. Finally, I read my script into the microphone, and while I'm doing that, I'm also, as I said, typing words onto the screen to give you something to look at. These are all the things that I do to record one of these lectures, the smaller actions that I take to complete the larger action. And notice how the transitions that I use to describe these steps are transitions of time, talking about what happens first, the order things happen in, and in fact, what is the last thing, finally. This is a way that you can help your reader through a process analysis by helping your reader understand where he or she is in the process, in the course of the action. A process analysis typically works best when it uses these kinds of transitions of time. So it might be in your best interest to go back and look again at the transitions of time. I'd like to finish by suggesting a process you might adopt in your own practice. I call this, oddly enough, a writing process. It has 4 steps. In the first step, a writer generates ideas. This is where you would do research and whatever pre-writing exercise you prefer. This is also a good time in the process to make an outline. This is where you prepare yourself to enter into the next step, in which a writer composes. This is the part we usually think of as the entire act of writing, the part where you sit in a chair or whatever and put words onto paper or onto a screen. However, the process goes on. In the third step, a writer responds to the writing. This is where you read what you've written and think about it. Does it answer the question you want it to? Do the sentences fit the grammar your reader expects? By answering questions of this kind, you can move on to the fourth and sort of final step, which is to revise. In this step, you rewrite sentences and add information to make your writing do the best job it can, to make it answer the question directly, to make sure that the reader won't see anything that will confuse him or her in the process. Now, the most important thing to notice about this process is that the steps are separate from each other. It's best to do them one at a time, and that, I think, can help you to do the job of writing more easily and efficiently. So as we continue, keep thinking about how process analysis can help you communicate your ideas as they appear in time and as part of your actions. And as always, thank you for your time and attention.